Welcome to Disney Odd Pod.
I'm Kat.
I'm Dee.
This week, it is not the Stella we promised you, because that is a movie so obscure you cannot even rent it on Amazon. We tried watching it on YouTube, and the quality was just...
You couldn't even see the people's faces.
No, it was horrible. So...
Yeah. Blowing up a YouTube video to a full TV screen size just did not work.
So we had to roll a different movie.
And we got Good Will Hunting from 1997.
Which Dee was just so disappointed about. He was just really bummed out by this fact.
Bummed out like a pig in shit.
Two of your favorite movies in a row. I wonder how that happened.
Yeah.
How'd that get in there?
I can't make it say what it says.
It's true. I did make you show me, because I know this is one of your favorite movies of all time, so I was just like, I don't believe you. There's no way. No, it was, yeah, that you rolled that number. What was it, 496?
That's correct, number 496.
So.
On the campus of one of America's leading universities.
There is a problem on the main hallway chalkboard. It took my colleagues and I more than 2 years to prove it. And I'm hoping that one of you might prove it by the end of the semester.
The most gifted mind to ever enter its classrooms.
This is correct. Who did this?
Is the person who cleans its floors.
Well, I just need the name of this guy who works in my building.
Got this job through his PO, you can call him.
P.O.?
Parole officer.
Meet Will Hunting.
I've been looking over this rap sheet of yours. Assault, theft, resisting.
I've spoken to the judge, and he's agreed to release you under my supervision. Really? But you have to meet with a therapist every week.
That's pretty good.
For the first time in his life, he's about to meet his match.
How many shrinks you go to before me?
5. This boy's genius is unparalleled. But I need someone who can get through to him.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm pumped. Let's let the healing begin. I went on a date last week. Going out again? I don't know. This girl's like, beautiful. She's smart. She's fun. She's like perfect right now. I don't want to ruin that. Maybe you're perfect right now. Maybe you don't want to ruin that. Have you talked to him at all about his future? Give him time to figure out what he wants.
This boy has that gift. Can you imagine if Einstein would have given that up just to get drunk with his buddies every night?
Well. That's how Minnie Driver says his name a couple times. Well.
Okay, I do have one nit with this movie. Why is she British?
Because she is British.
But
she's just a British lady going to Harvard.
It's just the one weird thing about this movie is that they have this British lady.
I didn't think it.
It's a nit. Like I don't think it's a problem per se, but it's just if I had to pick
not a problem.
One nit in this movie, that would be my one small thing. Is why is she British?
What do you mean? Why?
I don't know. It just seems weird. Like, why wouldn't they just have some regular American person?
I don't know if that would work as well.
Does it make her more hot because she has a British accent?
No.
Is Minnie Driver hot? Is she considered hot?
I don't think so.
No. Interesting.
She's tall.
So, well, I say that because I was trying to... There are people who give this a 1-star review, because spoiler alert, this is nothing even remotely close to a 1-star review movie. This movie's fucking great.
Yeah, it's one of the best movies ever made.
Correct, sir.
And I was trying to see, I read some of the 1-star reviews. why would you ever give this a 1? Every single 1-star review was written by the real-life Harvard ponytail guy in that bar scene. By people that write, this is how dumb dudes... think that being smart is, and this is so and talking
Matt
about
Damon went to Harvard.
How his aggressive behavior towards Minnie Driver's character is unbelievable of someone with that level of intelligence.
No, it's not.
And that's why I just say you missed the point of the movie if that's your take.
Well, and even just being aggressive like that is just a part of being fucked up.
Right, and that's the thing is that this movie I think is really important for every kind of young person to see, but you have to be old enough to kind of, I guess, but there's a certain age that you need to see this movie, and I don't know what that age is, but it's important. It's one of those movies that everybody should watch.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know, probably somewhere between 17 and 25, depending on your level of maturity.
Right.
I mean, this movie came out when I was 17, and that's when I saw it.
So, I guess, what is it about this movie that makes it such one of your favorite movies?
Didn't you just watch it?
No, I mean, I know I like it, but I mean, I guess, is it just the story that hits with you?
The story, it's really funny.
It is very funny.
The whole cast is great. It's pretty hard to beat.
Yeah. Oh, and that was the other reviews. Oh, when you put a bunch of famous people. Well, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were not famous when this movie came out.
Neither was Casey Affleck.
This launched their famous...
Neither was Stellan Skarsgård, really. The only famous person was really Robin Williams.
Well, and he was kind of in a slump. He just came on... This was like the beginning of the Robin... He just came off of Flubber. Are you kidding me?
I don't know if that's a slump.
I mean, you gotta be in a pretty low place to do Flubber. Just saying.
Oh
okay.
God.
So you can watch this movie on Max. That's how we watched it. Will Hunting is a troubled South Boston youth who happens to be a genius. When he anonymously solves a difficult math problem posed by an MIT professor, Will sets into motion a series of events that bring him to a crossroads in his life.
Kid's wicked smart.
There are a lot of references to Boston.
Well, secretly, it's just a really long Dunkin Donuts commercial.
Got it.
I'm open. And needs no introduction, my partner.
Sometimes it's really hard to be your friend.
You said you were gonna support me?
Don't go away, my heart. Why you dunking me, girl? Why you dunking?
Dunkin!
My heart.
How do you like them donuts? I'm so sorry.
You had to see it, but I forgive you. Lay us on the track.
Are we gonna be on the album?
There's Dunkin Donuts everywhere.
So much Dunkin' Is that where Dunkin' Donuts started, was Boston?
I'm sure it is, yeah.
And Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are, like, from Boston, right?
Yeah.
Did they grow up with Mark Wahlberg? Are they all friends? Like,
No,
do they all hang out together?
I don't think,
You don't think Donnie and Casey were shooting hoops together?
I don't think that the other ones are putting the crack down or whatever.
Donnie D's on the back up, drug free, so put the crack up. No need for speed, I'm anti. DRUGGIE,
Straight edge nonsense.
When you say who?
Damon and Affleck aren't putting the...
Oh, they're too cool for the Wahlberg Dare program.
Yeah.
So I thought that the director Gus Van Sant, his name is to me more familiar than the stuff he's made.
I agree with that. I was like,
oh, I know who Gus Van Sant is, and then I read all the credits. I'm like, oh, he did a Psycho remake.
Have you ever seen that with Vince Vaughn?
I think I have, because I remember I think my parents were watching it, and then I was scared of the shower for like 5 years.
It was just not a very good movie. He didn't milk that movie.
Yeah, the one that you did the focus group for.
But yeah, I agree. I was really surprised at how not filled out. I mean, he has done a lot of stuff, but nothing I've ever watched.
Just a bunch of music videos is really
I've done a bunch of movies, but I just haven't seen any of them. I don't know anything about them. So yeah. This was his big movie, though.
His big to-do. Well, it's everybody's big movie. I mean, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
But it wasn't a big movie, though. Everybody has to, like you were saying about it being a bunch of famous people, this was not a bunch of famous people at the time. This was a small, independent movie.
Well, it was a small budget, that's for sure. A super small budget movie.
This was a movie that Harvey Weinstein got made.
Ugh, God.
And, of course, it was written by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Well, it was written by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck just kind of tagged, which is interesting because Ben Affleck has actually written more stuff since then.
No. People say that because they like to say that Ben Affleck's dumb. But no, it was written by both of them. Like, these guys were so close and so tight back then, they shared a fucking bank account.
Did they really?
Yeah.
So did they, like, grow up together? Like, are they...
No. They met later on in life, but they just became best of friends and still are.
When you're the best of friends, having so much fun together.
The only other thing that I've really seen that either of them has written is Ben Affleck wrote Gone Baby Gone, also starring Casey Affleck. Really,
Casey Affleck is so fucking great.
It's a great movie, but if you like him...
Is that the one that he won an Oscar for?
I think so.
Yeah,
but
I think so too.
There's like a little girl that goes missing, he's a cop, and and the little girl... her mom's like a crackhead, and like it's a whole thing, and it's a really good. Morgan Freeman's in it. It's a great movie, by the way.
Morgan Freeman.
So Matt Damon had quite the little run here, starting with this movies. He was in this, Saving Private Ryan, Rounders, Dogma, which is a great movie, by the way.
Rounders is an even better movie.
Talented Mr. Ripley, and then Titan AE, which never gets enough credit.
And I think almost all those movies, except for Private Ryan, are on the list, FYI. Rounders and Dogma.
Titan AE is not on the list. I would have been losing my mind if that movie was on the list, because that's one of my favorite animated movies.
Affleck, not so much on the hot run. He was a Dogma. He was in Chasing Amy right after this, I think, or right before it.
Had a kind of a weird career.
He's
picked a lot of weird movies.
He was in Dazed and Confused before this. That was like his most well-known thing until this.
Was he in Mallrats also?
Yeah, which is the same year as this. No, it was the year before.
Yeah.
But that's still a pretty small role. That movie didn't do that great.
No, but I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, Matt Damon's probably had a more successful acting career.
Oh.
Wouldn't you say? They've just had a kind of, they've had a similar, like, I feel like they're the similar level of fame.
Well, I guess a lot of it is Affleck has had the huge tabloid career.
Well, what, because of J-Lo?
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole J-Lo and Jennifer Garner.
Oh, that's right, the two Jens, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was dating famous people, whereas Matt Damon had a more low-key personal life and maybe a bigger... I mean, he had all the Bourne movies, which I've never seen even one of.
What? You've never seen the Bourne Supremacy?
No.
Okay, we really need to watch...
Isn't that like the third one? The Supremacy?
Or no, the Bourne Identity is the first one. Okay, the Bourne Identity is amazing. I saw that movie in theaters. It was the cool John Wick movie before there was John Wick. It's so good. And then Robin Williams, obviously. I mean...
Obviously.
Probably one of his best parts.
Oh, yeah, this is like the best serious Robin Williams. This is great.
It's just interesting that he would, like... agree to do this movie, I guess.
And he was just so fucking good. Like,
well, everybody in this movie is fucking good.
Yeah, but he was extra fucking good. Like,
well, yeah, every scene, every monologue scene that he has, like, brings you to tears, basically.
Every scene of the movie that he's in is A++.
Yeah.
It's wild. And there was never, I mean, there were some serious Robin Williams movies, but not any that were quite this serious.
Just a different kind of
serious. It's just a very different role than anything he'd ever done.
Patch Adams is a serious movie.
But he still acts silly.
He does act silly, and like, yeah, I guess every other, well, I don't know if you count 1 Hour Photo as a serious movie, but he is definitely not silly in that, because he plays...
yeah, but that's way after this.
I love 1 Hour Photo, it's a great movie. Anyways, and then... I think I completely forgot that Stellan Skarsgård was in this movie. I forgot a lot about this movie because, for the record, as Dee has mentioned, you've seen this probably how many times now?
I have no idea.
This is only the second time I've watched this movie. The first time was when you were flabbergasted that I had never seen this movie, like about 3 or 4 years ago.
So flabbergasted.
I have to remind you, it was like 8 years old when it came out, so take that for what it is. But it's... Acting is really weird because he does this movie that gets all the awards and then a year later does Deep Blue Sea. Which is just such a weird segue to do this super serious, like...
Yeah, but he hasn't done, like, a ton of movies where... Well, I don't know. I mean, he's in Pirates of the Caribbean, for crying out loud.
And Mamma Mia. Don't forget about Mamma Mia.
Alright, that being said, that's pretty much it for the big actors.
Well, and Minnie Driver, but if we get to Tarzan or Princess Mononoke, we'll see her again. Because she's the female lead in Tarzan, the animated one.
I feel like... Is Grosse Pointe Blank on the list?
Maybe.
We'll see her in that if she is.
I don't remember,
if it
to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any fun facts?
I had a couple. So, apparently, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon put a bogus sex scene in the middle of the movie to, like, weed out who'd actually read it to pick the right studio, and Harvey Weinstein was like, this is great, but I don't understand this random sex scene between these two professors. And they're like, oh, great, you actually... Which is just such a, like... That's something that these two characters would have done if they were real people. Maybe. I think it's funny.
It is funny. The farting scene with Robin Williams was completely ad-libbed, and that was actually Matt Damon laughing, not, like, acting.
Yeah. Which is just so... It's just such a little scene, but it's so good.
It's hilarious. It's a really important scene. There's a lot of really important scenes.
There are many really important scenes, and that is the tough part about this movie, is just that every scene is... It's so well written that every scene is so important to the movie.
You can't really cut... You can't be like, oh, well, let's cut this part of the movie out. No, it wouldn't work. Speaking
of me asking if you thought Minnie Driver was hot, Harvey Weinstein apparently didn't want her as a part because she wasn't, quote, cute enough, but Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were like, no, she's in. And then she won an Academy, or was nominated for an Academy Award.
We'll get into that in a minute. Casey Affleck, all of his lines were ad-libbed.
Yeah, and
because he was funnier than all the lines they'd written for him.
And he didn't even have that many lines.
Double Burger? Yeah, but every time he's on screen, it's very memorable whenever he's doing anything.
Yeah, okay,
the
burger scene in the car was pretty funny. I did enjoy that. But the funnier part about that was Ben Affleck's thing of, we'll put this on layaway for you. In a week, you can have it. Yeah. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Anything else?
Did you have any other ones?
I have one other one. That there was, when they were filming that bench scene, even though there was nobody around them, there was 3,000 people watching them because Robin Williams was really famous at the time.
Wow.
So there was a whole bunch of people in that park watching them film that fucking scene.
Which is so wild because it feels like such an intimate moment between these two characters. That's what I mean.
You're just watching these two and some swans, and no, there's just a whole bunch of fucking Bostonians gathered around.
Well, could some of them have been there because they're like, yeah, boys, Matt and Ben going to make this movie, and then they're all excited?
I don't think most of the people knew who the fuck they were.
Oh, well, I don't know. They could be like local good boys done good or something.
Well, they were, but nobody knew who they were until then. But anyways, I'm gonna just sneak in the Oscar things here. It was nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Director, Screenwriter, Editing, Music, and Score.
But who was the Best Actor nomination?
Damon.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was Damon or Robin Williams, which was considered the main... I guess Matt Damon would be considered the main character.
Well, right. But, so, Robin Williams did win for supporting actor for this movie.
He should.
And they won for screenwriting for this movie.
As they should.
All the rest of them, they lost to Titanic and... What was the Jack Nicholson movie that was...
As Good as It Gets?
Yeah, As Good as It Gets.
Which is a great movie, by the way.
It's pretty good, but it's not as good as this.
It's not as good as this. But Titanic is, it's Titanic.
Had they not come out in a year where there's Titanic, I have a feeling this would have won Best Picture.
Probably. Because, it's Titanic. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
But it just kind of puts this movie in perspective of, it was a big fucking deal, and it really did really well. I mean, that's a lot of Oscar nominations for some dumb kid's first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. The only other thing I'll say is that Kevin Smith was also a producer on this movie. He was instrumental in getting the movie made because he personally gave the script to Harvey Weinstein. What?
Yeah, it's all fine. I mean, sure. Sure.
It's a fact. It's fun.
A fact. All right. So let's
proof.
Solve.
Proof. You're proving the proof. When you get into complicated math, it's like you're proving it.
Prove it.
I guess, okay, so I'm not really, math is not my strong suit. No. Shut up. I have to count on my fingers sometimes. I don't get, when you get this, people talk about complicated math and these, we finished the equation. Well, how do you know? I guess I don't understand is how do you...
Yeah, I don't know
when you're proving equations, what if there's no solution?
Especially that one towards the end where he's
drawing the pictures, basically?
No, the pictures I really don't fucking get. The trees and branches and shit, I'm like, what? But when he's like, have you thought about this? And he's like, no, it's right. He's like, but did you consider this? It's like, consider what? It's a math problem. Isn't it supposed to just be right or
I guess
wrong?
Maybe that's the whole thing, is that you're proving...
I know, but to me it's still... bizarre, and I'll never understand it, and I don't really care to.
It's very pretentious. Stellan Skarsgård's character tracks so much. There was one line in the middle of the movie where he was talking some chick, and it was so gross.
And he does it twice.
And I'm like, oh, that is what that guy would do.
Well, wait a minute. There's no other reason to be a professor other than to bang college-age girls.
I mean...
That's literally the only draw for a guy.
Well, you're not trying to spread your knowledge.
Trying to spread your seed.
Well, I'm just saying, you could have good intentions.
That is still a fine intention.
Is it?
It's a bonus of the job.
A bonus. Okay. Anyways, let's get into this movie.
You gotta have all that higher education. You gotta get it somewhere.
Oh my god. Let's prove.
Let's prove
How great this movie
people be
is.
teaching and janitoring to start off.
Sorry.
Start off with Will mopping and Skellen, or Jerry, I guess we'll just call him Jerry from now on.
Jerry?
Gerald. Professor Lambo.
Oh, okay, so I just kept calling him Professor because I couldn't remember his name. So, yeah, he basically is, I put this really complicated math problem on the board in the hallway.
It'll probably not get solved, period.
Right.
But if you do, you'll be a big fucking deal.
Right. And so Matt Damon secretly solves the theorem in one day.
Yeah, he's out with his friends drinking and decides to take the train and go solve it.
Yeah.
So he solves it. But then we catch him at the bar for that, right?
No, because then what happens is there's this weird fight scene on the basketball court. Don't really understand why they go and fight these guys. Like, he's like, oh, that kid beat me up in kindergarten. They go to the bar a lot. Is there another bar scene?
Yeah, they go to the bar in the batting cage first.
Okay,
where
sorry.
They're screwing around and fighting with each other and having a good old time.
I guess I didn't think it was like an important scene.
It is an important scene. But then that's when the theorem gets proved, and they come up to the professor, and the lady's like, unless you want to, and he's like to the girl, he's like, unless you want to have a drink later.
Oh, yeah, he's just being a professor.
And the girl's
douchebag.
like, maybe.
No, and Stellan Skarsgård is not, like, if you're gonna go for a Skarsgård, you're not gonna go for Stellan Skarsgård. He's so gross. Like, it's just, ugh, no thank you.
But yeah, they're at this baseball game cheering on the neighborhood kids.
And that's right.
They see some douchebag that they don't like.
Like, why are they at this game? They don't have any kids.
So then they go get the burger, and then that's when they roll up and they get in a fight in the basketball court because they see that same douche
who used to go to
shit
kindergarten with Matt Damon's character
and beat him up. Yeah, but they see that guy talking shit to some lady walking down the street, so they decide to whoop his ass.
Yeah, and so Will gets picked up and taken to jail.
And the fight scene is great, by the way. It's a fantastic scene.
It's kind of random, but it's obviously what puts him into the position that he's in. But
it's real, and everybody's just getting punched and beat up.
I have never been in a fight, so I can't contribute to that it's real or not. I don't live in South Boston. I don't know what's real.
You never seen people get in a fight before?
No.
Groups of guys? Okay, fine. Either way. Yeah, he gets picked up. He gets bailed out by...
Well, the professor...
Oh, nobody comes forward to claim...
Nobody comes forward to claim it, so he puts a more difficult problem up, and Will solves the more difficult problem.
Yeah, but first he gets bailed out.
But he doesn't get bailed out by the professor, because the professor has to see him. How does he get bailed out?
The part where... Okay, hang on. He gets bailed out of just going to jail initially. That's when there's the first Dunkin scene with...
Oh, there's no scene there. He just gets bailed out.
He gets bailed out. And that's because otherwise he'd still be in jail. How would he solve the
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was confused, because you were like saying the professor came to bail him out. I was no, that's not what happened.
No. Chucky came to pick him up.
Right, okay. Forgot about that. The Dunkin Donuts, okay.
The Dunkin Donuts. Coffee for him. And so he's sitting there solving the thing and he gets caught.
He's like, hey, stop graffitiing. And
he's walking away and he's like, fuck you.
Sorry. What do you do? Sorry. That's people's work. You can't graffiti here. Don't you walk away from me.
Hey, fuck you.
Oh, you're a clever one. What's your name?
And the assistant professor's like, I think this is right.
I love the little bitch guy. It's so his part is so funny because he's so jealous the whole time.
Oh, he's very jealous because he's, clearly trying to be this professor's best friend, and then here's this other guy who's just this kind of
ruffian.
Rough around the edges, wrong side of the tracks guy the professor's drooling over.
And then they go to a Harvard bar.
And there's, the douchebags being all, oh, I'm smart, da-da-da-da-da. And this is probably one of your favorite scenes, I think.
Fuck yeah, I love this scene. It's ridiculous.
Because they're hitting on Minnie Driver.
And he's like, oh, we had history. Oh,
well, because Ben Affleck is trying to hit on... Well, I think Ben Affleck was trying to hit on Minnie Driver's friend, the blonde girl.
Either way, yeah.
Either way.
Either one,
But this, Harvard douchebag comes over and is like, I'm smart, I'm gonna blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, history, I remember that. That was sometime between recess and lunch.
Insight into the evolution of the market economy in the southern colonies. My contention is that prior to the Revolutionary War, the economic modalities, especially in the southern colonies, could most aptly be characterized as agrarian pre-capital.
All right, of course that's your
Hang on a
contention.
second.
You're a first-year grad student. You just got finished reading some Marxian historian, Pete Garrison probably. You're going to be convinced of that till next month when you get to James Lemon. Then you're going to be talking about how the economies of Virginia and Pennsylvania were entrepreneurial and capitalist way back in 1740. That's going to last until next year. You're going to be in here regurgitating Gordon Wood, talking about, the pre-revolutionary utopia and the capital-forming effects of military mobilization.
As a matter of fact, I won't, because Wood drastically underestimates the impact of social...
Wood drastically underestimates the impact of social distinctions predicated upon wealth, especially inherited wealth. You got that from Vickers. Work in Essex County, page 98, right? Yeah, I read that too. Were you going to plagiarize the whole thing for us? Do you have any thoughts of your own on this matter? Or is that your thing? You come into a bar, you read some obscure passage, and then pretend you pawn it off as your own idea just to impress some girls? Embarrass my friend? See, the sad thing about a guy like you is in 50 years, you're going to start doing some thinking on your own, and you're going to come up with the fact that there are two certainties in life. One, don't do that. And two, you dropped $150 grand on a fucking education you could have got for $1.50 in late charges at the public library.
Yeah, but I will have a degree. And you'll be serving my kids fries at a drive-thru on our way to a skiing trip.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but at least I won't be unoriginal. But, if you have a problem like that, we could just step outside. We could figure it out.
Oh, man, there's no problem. It's cool.
It's cool?
Yeah.
Cool. Fucking damn right it's cool. How you like me now?
My boy's wicked smart. Nice, 3 minutes, this fucking play.
Matt Damon steps in and basically just schools him
hard, very hard.
And he points out, he's like, all you're doing is repeating shit
that
you've read in a book, which is exactly what that kind of fucking Harvard douchebag, some of these people who were, went to these fancy schools.
Or really just quote unquote smart people.
They read something online and they just repeat.
There's no online back
Well,
then.
I'm saying nowadays. I'm saying that this guy exists in all planes of time. I'm very smart, but all I do is repeat things that I've read to make me sound smart.
Yep. So, the professor's looking for Will, and he goes and they give him the card of his parole officer, and he's like, "Oh, P.O." And then there's the scene of Will in court, which I absolutely fucking love, where he's trying to argue all these old cases to try and get himself out of jail.
The judge is like, fuck you, that's not going to work for me.
Not this time. You hit a cop, you're going to jail. So he goes to jail, and his call in jail is he calls Minnie Driver.
Right, because at the end of the bar scene, she's like...
Oh, we didn't even talk about the...
Yeah, so the very important is the end of the bar scene. She's like, what the fuck, you didn't come over and talk to me? Like, I was clearly interested. Here's my number. And he's like, oh, okay. So then he sees the douchebag ponytail guy out in the street, and
the guy's in Dunkin Donuts, by the way.
Is he in Dunkin? Yeah. Okay, he's in Dunkin Donuts, and Matt Damon's like, yo, smart guy.
Do you like apples?
How about them apples? I got a number.
How do you like them apples?
Yeah, I know you like that part.
Everybody likes that part. That was like the number one quoted part from this movie for years afterwards.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Did you ever say that in real life to somebody? Oh, do you like them apples?
No, because I don't copy things. I'm not like that Harvard douchebag. I don't copy people to be funny. I don't find that incredibly original. So he calls her from jail, which is funny. And he has to get math and therapy lessons for a year to stay out of jail.
Yeah, because the professor knows how brilliant he is, so he's trying to kind of... So is the professor's intention really just to kind of try to use him for more notoriety, or like is he trying to actually set him up?
Guys like that, they just, if there's another genius out there, they want them in the field doing the work.
Doing real work. Okay. So obviously the first couple therapists do not work
he
out.
goes through therapists just like crazy.
Well, he's just fucking with them because they're trying to shrink him like a typical therapist.
Do you have a hard time hiding the fact that you're gay? What?
Yeah, the first professor was very offended by it.
Yeah, and that part's funny because that's probably exactly right.
Other fun fact, really quick, is that one of the other 1-star reviews of this movie was someone was very bothered because this movie was, quote, too sensual, and they got too turned on every time Matt Damon came on the screen. Anyways, I just thought it was hilarious. It's probably written by that guy. But, so then the professor's like, okay, I'm going to go find my old friend teaching community college psych. Goes out to see Robin Williams and is like, hey, I have this kid.
To see Sean.
Who I need you to help.
And so he does. And at the end of the session, he chokes Matt Damon out.
Well, yeah, because Matt Damon was acting like a little dick and made some kind of joke about, oh, you married the wrong woman. And the whole thing with Robin Williams' character is that his wife died and he was very deeply in love with his wife.
Yeah. And the choke also kind of woke Matt Damon's character up a little bit and gave him some respect.
Well, that's it, isn't it? You married the wrong woman. What happened? Why'd she leave you? Was she, banging some other guy?
If you ever disrespect my wife again, I will end you. I will fucking end you. Got that, Chief?
Well, because he just assumes that, oh, you're a therapist, you're like some academic douchebag, but Robin Williams' character is actually from South Boston also, so he's like supposed to be kind of a more down-to-earth kind of guy.
And then the excellent first date scene between...
Oh, yeah, the first date scene between... Skylar. Where they're in like it's like a joke shop or something.
Yeah, like a joke toy shop, like an Archie McPhee almost.
It's so bizarre, and they just keep putting different things on their faces, but it's good. It's very good. And then
they kiss with the burgers.
With their mouth full, which is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen.
Give us a burger kiss.
And she's like, I got some of your pickle. Pickle penis.
She's gonna get some of his pickle later.
Well, no, he made the joke about,
get good night lay.
I was hoping for a good night lay, which was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then we get the bench scene.
The taster's choice.
It is just... and this is like a scene that typically happens in movies towards the end of the movie. Like the big monologue, the heart-to-heart scene. And it's basically Robin Williams' character explaining to Matt Damon that, like...
He's like, you ain't shit, bitch.
You don't know anything. Yeah. You don't know anything about me. Yeah. You look at a few things in my wall and you make all these assumptions. Oh, by the way, my wife died of cancer. How do you feel now? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
your move, Chief.
Yeah.
He does like to say Chief, which is pretty funny. And then we get the second date where he does her homework.
Oh, yeah.
After he realizes he fucked up.
Yeah, because Robin Williams' character was explaining, basically they were talking about, there's several therapy sessions, like many, many therapy sessions, but this session was, Robin Williams was explaining that, was this where he told him about the baseball game?
No, that's the next scene. This is where he's telling, this is the fart scene, where he's saying, hey, she's not perfect, neither are you. But if you're going to have true intimacy, you're going to have to...
Yeah, because Matt Damon's like, why would I want to go on another date with her? Like, I don't want to mess it up. She's perfect right now. And da-da-da-da. And that's the... Yeah, it's a very simple-minded way of looking at finding a partner is that, they're perfect when there's nobody's perfect, obviously.
And he lies to her and says that he has 12 siblings with his genius.
Why? But it's that part doesn't really make sense to me. Like, why does he lie about it?
Well, because he doesn't want to tell her that he's an orphan and that he had a terrible life.
Well, no, but why do you have to be so exaggerative?
Well, if you're gonna go all the way. Don't tell a little lie.
I guess.
Tell a big one. So the next scene is the gotta see about a girl.
Baseball. Yeah, this is
therapy scene, which is also excellent.
It's one of my favorite little
really
segments.
Good.
He goes on this whole story about the baseball game, talking because it's a very famous baseball game, apparently.
Yes, especially in Boston.
Like he was there, and then he's like, "Oh, I don't know, I wasn't there. I was having a drink with my future wife." Which
what?
Well,
how did your friends let you get away with that?
Because they saw I was serious.
Yeah.
And it's, how realistic that is in real life that would actually happen, I don't know. But
yeah, you never know. You go see a hot chick and you're just like, oh yeah, you guys go without me.
I don't know. I think he was making the point of, like, she wasn't just that she was attractive. It's just that it was the whole everything about her. He knew in that moment.
Everything. And then we get the little scene in bed with Skylar and Will, where she's like, I dunk.
Oh, yeah. It's just showing them, falling in love.
But, it's that, but she's also like, hey, if you don't let me meet your friends, you can't go any further. So they go and meet her friends.
Yeah.
And everybody's having a good time telling stories.
Well, and I think he was a little apprehensive.
Of course he's apprehensive. He's taking some Harvard girl, a foreigner, to go meet these meat-headed Southie Irish boys.
And she fits right in. She tells her own funny stories, and they all...
The Affleck story in that, I think, is so great. It's funny.
Oh, about the police car. Yeah, it's pretty good. And then the professor goes to see Robin Williams to put pressure on Will to get a job.
They go talk jobs.
To join the industry.
No, can't do it. Have you heard of the Unabomber?
Right, which actually is an interesting... it's just interesting because it's just how different circles, things that people, they're talking about Ted Kaczynski, and he's like, well, he was intelligent, he was this, because a lot of, crazy criminal people are super intelligent.
They sure are.
And it just is, I think the whole thing of this movie is just showing out how different influences on you can send you down different paths.
Absolutely.
In your life.
And how they can screw you up or set you up or whatever.
And it's not, if you take a different path, it's not necessarily the wrong path. And it's just interesting because there's also this kind of side story between the professor and Robin Williams.
Yeah, where they just took different paths.
Yeah, because they were roommates in college and they were both very intelligent. And basically it's Stellan Skarsgård, professor character, thinks that Robin Williams' character made the wrong choice and he's a failure and all this stuff. And
yeah, but that's not really how Sean feels he is. So
right, exactly.
And then Retainer.
Oh right, yeah. See, this is kind of a silly little scene.
Are you shitting me? This is so funny.
It's dumb.
Suspect.
Okay,
I don't. This is the one that if you're talking about me quoting the parts, I'm quoting this part.
Oh my god,
all the time.
Because basically, Will sends Ben Affleck's character to go on his job interview or whatever,
and dressed in a hilarious suit. That's
the suit is
too small.
It's too much. It's horrible. But yeah, he's just being a dick and gets these guys to give him give $200 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's a scene that I'm just it's not really consequential to the plot of the movie.
It's funny as fuck though.
But it is entertaining. It is entertaining.
So then Skylar asks Will to go to California with him, and he
flips out. He flips out big time because he
can't have this kind of intimacy.
No, you're not going. You're not leaving.
What do you want to know? What? That I don't have 12 brothers?
Yeah.
That I'm a fucking orphan?
No,
you don't want to hear that.
I didn't know that.
No, you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that I got
it.
fucking cigarettes put out of me when I was a little kid.
I didn't know
that this isn't fucking surgery, that the motherfucker stabbed me. You don't want to hear that shit, Skylar. Don't tell me you want to hear that shit.
I want to hear it because I want to help you, because I want to be with you.
What the fuck? What do I got? A fucking sign on my back that says save me?
No.
Do I look like I need that?
No, God, I just want to be with you because I love you.
Don't bullshit me. Don't you fucking bullshit me.
I love you.
Well, because he has it in his mind that the worst possible outcome is going to happen, that she's going to get out to California, realize that he's a piece of shit, which he's not, but he thinks he's a piece of shit, and that she's going to leave him, and then he's going to be stuck in California.
Which all that could be true, but he wouldn't necessarily be stuck. His world
is so small.
It's so small that the idea of him even trying to do something like that is just unconscionable. He's probably never even been out of Massachusetts before.
Well, he's never been on a plane.
Well, yeah, but I mean, literally out of the state, let alone...
So he freaks out, and it's a very sad scene. And
because he's very cold and callous to her. I don't love you.
Yeah, it's a horrible scene.
Walks out naked. Yeah, it's not very friendly, but it's very realistic and probably pretty accurate. And then it goes from that horrible thing into one of the other most silly scenes where Casey Affleck's character is jerking off into the baseball.
Oh my god. This is another scene that's so gross. But it's just it's just establishing their whole friendship dynamic as they're at Ben Affleck's mom's house.
Well, probably where he lives too.
Lives with his mom.
They're fucking poor as shit. All of them.
Clearly, yes.
Yeah.
And
there's not even another TV or VCR in the house to where Morgan's up there beating off in her bedroom.
It's disgusting. Yeah. Like, what's so weird? Like, why? But we all have those friends, I guess.
Love for cleanup.
It's disgusting. It's gross.
Then Matt goes to an NSA meeting for a job.
Oh, for NASA. Or for the Security Administration.
Yeah, NSA, not...
Yeah.
And he goes into this whole fucking...
thing about why he doesn't want to do it, because if I do that, then I'm going to break this code that's going to then launch these missiles. And he goes in this big, long, sweeping monologue.
Yeah.
Of all these ridiculous scenarios that may or may not happen.
And I also don't blame him for not wanting that job, but... And then he kind of doesn't get too serious with Sean, and Sean kicks him out when he's talking about he wants to be a shepherd.
Oh, right.
He's like, all right, Bo Peep, beat it.
So he calls Skylar back. She says she still loves him, and he just doesn't say it back, so she goes to California.
Well, she was going to go no matter what, but...
Well, right. But
then the most important scene in the movie is Chucky breaking through to him, like, hey...
I don't know...
It is the most important scene in the movie. He could have even had the hug with Sean, which is the next scene. But if Chucky didn't say, "Hey, you need to get the fuck out of here, you bitch," like if you stay here, it's a fucking slap in my face. He's not leaving. If Sean, even if he has the "it's not your fault" conversation with Sean, after that, without that happening, he's not leaving. This is the most important thing that happens. Is like, hey. Asshole.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
The person that he trusts the most in the world is like, dude.
Look, you're my best friend, so don't take this the wrong way. But in 20 years, if you're still living here, coming over my house to watch the Patriots game, still working construction, I'll fucking kill you. That's not a threat. What? That's a fact. I'll fucking kill you. What the fuck are you talking about? Look. You got something none of us have.
Oh, come on. Why is it always this? I mean, I fucking owe it to myself to do this. That. What if I don't want to?
No. Fuck you. You don't owe it to yourself. You owe it to me. Because tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'll be 50. And I'll still be doing this shit. And that's all right. That's fine. I mean, you're sitting on a winning lottery ticket. You're too much of a pussy to cash it in. And that's bullshit. Because I'd do fucking anything to have what you got. So would any of these fucking guys.
No. You can't stay here. We can't grow up with our kids together. You can't sit here and fucking work construction with me. You've got to go fucking do something with your life.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. I just want to show up one day and you're not fucking there. No goodbyes, no bullshit, no crying. Just fucking leave.
Yeah.
And then we get this X. The Jerry and Sean fighting over the kid is so good.
It's pretty good.
If you push him.
Because then Will is listening.
Will's listening the whole fucking time. And then he comes in, and that's when you get the tearjerker of a scene, or it's not your fault. It's not your fault. When we're talking about physical abuse and all this stuff.
It's
pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. So that's like the big breakthrough. They're hugging it out. It's like, thank you. He gets a job with the people that he originally sent Ben Affleck to.
Oh, is it the same people?
Yeah.
You think he gave it? Well, so here's the question, because then They give him a car for his 21st birthday. His friends do. He ends up leaving.
YOLO.
To go after Minnie Driver.
Yep.
So does he come back to the job?
No, he said if the professor he says if the professor calls about the job, tell him I went to California. I had to go see about a girl. He just left the job. He said fuck it. He can get a job in San Francisco.
Is that wait? No, she went. I thought
to Stanford.
Oh, is that in San Francisco?
If it's not, it's like adjacent.
Yeah, I thought it was. It's in Santa Clara, isn't it? Or no?
No, I don't think so. That would be pretty gross. It's in the Bay Area.
Okay.
It's in between San Jose and San Francisco.
I didn't think it was in San Francisco proper.
Yeah, but it's all just in that same.
Yeah, he would have gotten a job there somewhere in Silicon Valley or something, doing something.
Well, I guess there was kind of a Silicon Valley.
Yeah, he would have been like up and coming in there. But yeah, so the end of the movie, basically,
he's just driving away.
He's just driving away after he left a note for old Robin Williams. He stole my line. Right? One of your favorite lines.
Son of a bitch stole my line.
So what you got for your awards?
My awards? Let's see. It's the funniest non-comedy. The Good Will Hunting funniest non-comedy award.
That's pretty good.
It's really funny. It's not a comedy.
It is definitely not a comedy.
And there's a lot of laughs.
There are a lot of laughs because we haven't had a Squanto Squalor moment of terror in quite a while, but the abuse scene. I think I just blocked that out the first time. Like, I literally had no recollection that was like the whole thing. That was the crux of his. I just didn't remember this movie very well from the first time we watched
obviously not. Like, that's like the most important thing.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, but it's still extremely important.
Yeah, the It's Not Your Fault scene is really hard to watch.
It is. It's tough. And then to go along with that, I have the Will and Sean Award for Screen Magic.
Like chemistry?
Yeah.
Yeah, because every scene they're in is really good. And there's a lot of them. They probably
they're just perfect together. It's really nice.
So on that, I have the dialogue deep dive. So this is a very dialogue heavy movie.
Well, yeah.
Not a lot actually happens in terms of action.
Well, no, it's not that kind of movie.
No, it's not. And so, but the dialogues segments never feel slow, or it doesn't feel unnatural or scripty in a way. So it's very, very dialogue heavy.
And I just threw out a fun award of the Irish be drinking and fighting.
Because they're fighting at the beginning of the movie.
Because they fight and they drink, yeah.
Yeah, that is true. I have the Remy Chef kiss scene for the Robin Williams bench monologue. Because it's just such a great monologue segment in any movie that we've watched. It's a perfect scene. And when you say it's the most important scene in the movie, that's why I just say I don't know if it's most important.
Which one?
The scene towards the beginning, where he basically is... when it's the bench scene.
Well, okay, the only reason I say it's the most important is it sets the boundaries of the relationship. He's like, hey, this is the facts. You don't know shit.
No. You said most important scene was the Ben Affleck.
Oh, well, for him to move forward, yeah. Okay.
Right, but I'm saying in terms of like, maybe this is more of the most iconic scene, but this is, to me, the bench scene is the best scene in the movie.
Yeah, I would agree with that, with it being the best.
Yeah.
The only thing I meant by important with the Chucky scene is that
it's most important to the plot.
Well, and to him personally, he could have never moved forward without Chucky's permission.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, like he wouldn't have gone anywhere without that. Like, yo, don't show back up here. Like,
yeah,
deuces.
Bye.
That's a big surprise, surprise.
Any surprises or disappointments?
No, just like I said, I definitely blocked out. Like, I just couldn't remember the whole crux of I didn't remember any of that part of the movie.
I was disappointed that it wasn't in HD. They need to remaster this in HD.
Oh.
I want to see all the, like, shots and all the Boston-ness of it, because there's a lot of grimy Boston in this, which is...
Yeah, it just shows...
would be cool to see in HD.
It shows the parts of Boston that we did not visit.
Fuck yeah!
the non-touristy...
Well, South Boston for one,
real parts of Boston that are probably more realistic.
But even wherever the hell Sean lived was not looking great.
Well, no, he's a professor at a community college. He's not exactly raking in the dough. Like,
that's why they pay him the big bucks.
You know, that's not...
What about a sequel? Do you want to see this 30 years later, now?
No.
Chucky has his own construction firm?
No, we don't need to see... some movies are just meant to be standalone.
Will comes back for Sean's funeral and they all get together.
No. No. Or Minnie Driver actually did leave him for somebody instead.
But he actually got together with somebody hotter.
No, that's not the point of this movie. They definitely ended up together. That's the point of this movie. No, it's actually Sean and Will sitting on a bench in heaven. It's an afterlife situation.
Oh my god.
No, there's certain movies, like many movies, should just be left alone. Doesn't need a sequel. Doesn't need a remake. Like,
oh my god, I can't even imagine a thing.
They wouldn't remake this movie. That would be weird. Like, there's no point.
Let's reimagine it. Okay, so final thoughts. It's just an all-timer.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Like I said, important enough that if you haven't seen it, which I don't know why you'd be listening to this if you haven't seen the movie, but if you haven't seen it, or if it's one of those movies, oh yeah, I've heard that's a good movie, but I've never watched it. Stop what you're doing and go watch the movie, because it's a great movie. It really is, and it's you just need to watch it. It's a good movie.
That's right. So did you get a budget for this movie?
The budget was $10 million, which is just...
Oh, that's more than I thought.
No, it's a $10 million budget, very small, but they made almost $226 million. So that's why when you say, oh, this is a small movie, I'm like, but they made a lot of money.
I mean. Well, yeah, I know they made a lot of money, but it wasn't like...
Titanic.
Well, I mean, it just wasn't... it wasn't some big feature. I mean, it came out in the spring, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Sleeper hit.
Yeah, big time. Big time. What do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score?
Oh, it's gotta be close to 100, I would think.
Close to 100, yeah. It's 97% with the critics and 94% with the people. I don't know what that 6... You already said what the 6% are. Just idiots.
Just people... And a lot of the reviews... And these were people that, reviewed it a couple months ago. Or, within the last year. So it's clearly, maybe younger people who don't really understand...
Give me a fucking break.
Yeah. Or that, this movie's slow, this movie's boring, and it's just... People that just don't get it.
The movie's not slow.
Well, but to some people that all they watch is, Michael Bay explosions, Avengers, They can't... They don't... and I think that maybe that's why they don't make a lot of movies like this anymore, because people just can't pay attention long enough.
People are too dumb.
Well, because, that's what I mean, is that it's just...
But yeah, that's what it is. People are way too dumb to watch movies like this. It's sad.
So I really enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I give it a 99%.
Wow.
Or 9.9 out of 10 Casey Affleck comebacks.
I give this movie 117%. It's one of the best movies of all time.
So you enjoyed this movie more than Jackie Brown.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, easy.
Am I actually putting 117% on
One for the money, 2 for the show. 117, go cat go.
Okay, I'll do that.
Alright, now it's time for Cat's favorite part of the pod.
Hopefully it's a movie that exists in reality.
In real life, it's going to be movie number 424, so we're in the same ballpark.
This is 2 movies before this one, isn't it?
No, 70.
Wait.
So this one was 496.
Oh, I thought this one was 426.
No.
Sorry. So this is going to be
a few years
earlier in the 90s.
Wait, what did I say it was? I'm trying to...
426?
No, 424.
424. You made a surprise face, but not a surprise, I don't even know what that was.
I don't even know what this is face.
Oh, finally you broke the streak.
Yeah, no, this is not on.
Because your streak, what was it? What About Bob? Jackie Brown? Good Will Hunting?
There was something in between Bob and Brown, though, wasn't there? Or was that all 3 on the streak? I get so confused now the way that we've done this.
No, that was the streak.
Oh, that's a pretty good streak. Anyhow, number 424 from 1996 is... Boys.
It's just called Boys.
Boys, a Touchstone movie.
Is there like an exclamation point?
There is no exclamation point. It's just
Boys.
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 Let me just make sure this is rentable on Amazon.
Let's hear it for the boys.
Because I don't want to do that again.
Let's hear it for the band.
That was not something that I thought I would have to check.
Oh, that you couldn't even, like, buy
what
a
was
movie?
What was the year?
1996.
Well, I don't want to buy the freaking DVD for $39.
Hell no.
This is another Stella situation. Which, this might come up more often, which is going to be kind of hard, but...
No, it's fine. It's whatever. It's our fucking show. I mean, if we don't want to...
Yeah, because
we're not going to go through hell and high water to watch these fucking randomized horseshit movies.
Who do you think the main star is in this movie?
Helen Hunt.
Winona Ryder.
Oh, I was close. Oh, wait a minute. I actually might have seen this movie.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll just, there's no
think we're
way,
missing anything.
unless, if you want to buy us on Amazon a Blu-ray for $34.96 and send it to us, I'll give you like a P.O. box or something. So you can email me and buy us this DVD and send it to us. That's fine.
A peed-on box.
Yeah, that's fine. But we have to roll again because I cannot find it.
Yeah, no. This is definitely what we should be doing from here on out. All right, this time it is number 747. So it's a really new one.
Well, not really new.
Yeah, it's pretty new on this one. Well, I guess it's probably a Disney movie, though, because it doesn't have a parentheses beside it. Number 747 from 2005, Valiant.
Oh, yeah. That's a... Yep. All right.
Streak still broken. I was really hoping for...
We can watch it on Disney Plus.
Well, yeah, I figured we'd be able to watch that.
Yeah, I did not see this one.
Is it animated?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, wow, weird.
It's animated.
I've never even heard of it. That's weird if it's animated and I haven't heard of it.
Why?
Yeah, no, I know.
You haven't heard of it.
Wow. So we get to watch a bad movie. That's fun.
That's fun.
All right. In the meantime, if you'd like to subscribe, throw us a review, hit us over the head, whatever you want.
Well, don't do that. Send us a DVD copy of Stella and Boys, and we will watch them. Maybe a double feature if somebody actually wants to pay $40 for both of those, each of those DVDs.
More like a double fister. Yeah. So in the meantime, this has been Disney Odd Pod.
I'm Kat.
I'm D.
Bye. I'll do an experiment next week. How about that? And then we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
The experiment.
Just not gonna... Oh, whoops.
I don't know. Whatever it was ridiculously loud.
Sorry. It was the mixer box. I never turned off my do not disturb from yesterday.
Yeah, that's why you used to have it be like, do not disturb until 5 o'clock.
I hope we don't have any missed calls. Well, they would have called you. Do you have Max on your phone?
No.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, I was waiting for you.
That's why I said, okay.
Oh, well, that's not good enough. You've been talking all kinds of shit.
That's all you wrote down?
I told you I didn't need to take notes.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay.
That's all you wrote down?
Well, I don't know. I would have a hard time remembering, but
for one of your favorite movies that you've seen 50 times?
No, that's fair. Okay. That's fair. Okay.